All right. Good evening, everyone. It is, December 17th now? Man, we're almost at the end of the year, huh? With that being said, I'll wait a few minutes to get things started on a fun pre-birthday stream and a little bit of a fun, different way to do a Racing Infinity, doing one live. What was that famous quote? We'll do it live! Anyway. Testing. Attention, please. Yeah. How you doing, Corvette Racing? Jets Racing Designs, how you doing? Attention, please. Yeah, at least I hope things are working. So that's all you can hope for, right? But yep. So those of you just joining in, we'll get started here in a moment. The first thing we'll knock out, of course, is the race itself. Excuse me. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. We will be doing a live Racing Infinity with a scenario that I had a vote for earlier on in the week, and it was chosen by you guys, and you guys selected the 2002 Winston Cup Series at Nashville Super Speedway. And one thing that I thought was really cool was some people suggested to, or at least, wanted to see the 2002 car set I used for one of the Racing Infinities of Jeff Gordon going to Evernham. So I will be using that car set. So you will see that car set in action and all that good stuff. So should be a fun time. Should be a fun race. Just a fun live race straight up. We can all chat, react to it. I'll provide some fun commentary. And then after the race, we'll talk about it. And I'll also go into discussing things moving forward. All things NASCAR, of course, as well as talking about content moving forward and all that fun stuff. Hey, Wolf Gaming Network, thank you so much. Yeah, my birthday's coming up on Wednesday, and I'll be turning 27. So with that being said, I got NR 2003 up and running. So with all that being said, I will pop up the window here. Here we go. All right, good stuff. Alrighty. I already did set up qualifying, and let me know if the game audio is washing out my voice or anything like that. Just let me know. I'm 27 already. Huh. Well, I guess I'll be joining that club, huh? I can't see it. I would make I'd make like a joke about it, like when I was like 24, 25. Of course, I would reference the SpongeBob memes, but I don't know any 27 jokes. But anyway, oh really? Yours is after mine, Doritos and Mountain Dew. Oh, welcome to the club. Some of us are Christmas kids. Honestly, though, I don't really mind having my birthday close to Christmas. I never really minded. So yeah, I got all the cars set up here.
Drivers, to your cars.
There you have it. Alex is the Legend 27. Yes, oh my god, I remember that commercial. Oh, the Legend 27. You can never beat that guy. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's certainly interesting, Rainbow Warrior, to see really how things would have looked like if Jeff Gordon had gone to Evernham, and would the team still be around today, possibly? I want to jokingly say Paul Menard. There's nothing wrong with that. We love Paul Menard. Paul Menard's pretty cool. I will say, I work at a TV station, and I've been seeing Ryan Blaney's Menards commercial going around a lot, which is pretty cool to see. Imagine Dale Earnhardt in the 88 UPS Ford and Jeff Gordon in the 19 Pepsi Dodge. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Just stay tuned. Alright, okay, I got a little bit of time. I'll do this the way I used to do it, like back in 2018. I'll introduce this starting lineup by using whichever cam it was. Yeah, rear chase. Alright, so again, this is the 2002 Cup Series and all that fun stuff. Alrighty, cool. All right, we got Tony Stewart starting on the pole. And starting next to him is Bill Elliott in the 9. Dale Earnhardt in the 3. Car number 3, he'll start in 3rd. Jimmy Johnson, 3 and 4, starting 3rd and 4th. Jimmy Johnson will start 4th. Kurt Busch rolling off in 5th, with Terry Labonte starting 6th. Matt Kenseth will start 7th in the 17. And, of course, there's Jeff Gordon. He'll start in 8th. 9th and 10th, you'll find Ricky Craven. Will Craven get him today? And we got Dave Blaney. It would be, let's see, just 21 years later that his son becomes a Cup Series champion. In our timeline, anyway. Behind him, you got Ricky Rudd in the 28, followed by the Silver Bullet, the 40 of Sterling Marlin. And then behind them, you got another alcohol-sponsored car, the Team Rusty Ford. I'm just kidding, the Miller Lite Ford of Rusty Wallace. And you got Ward Burton next to him. Okay. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8, and of course Casey Atwood, that 3rd Evernham Dodge. And you got the 45 of Kyle Petty, Mike Skinner in the 24 in this timeline, Michael Waltrip in the 15, and next to him is the UPS Ford of Dale Jarrett. And you got Jeff Burton in the 99, and Ryan Newman in the 12. Jeff Green in the 44, and next to him is Mark Martin. Bobby Hamilton in the 55, Andy Petree Racing. And you got the 30 of Kevin Harvick. Elliott Sadler in the 21, the Motorcraft Ford for the Wood Brothers. And next to him is Jerry Nadeau in the 25. Then you got the 2000 champion Bobby Labonte, followed by Johnny Benson in the Valvoline Pontiac. Jimmy Spencer rolling off there in the 41 Target Dodge, and the 1 car of Steve Park. Getting towards the end of the field now, John Andretti in the 43. Next to him, Robbie Gordon in the 31. Behind them, you'll find Jeremy Mayfield in the 7, and Ken Schrader in the 36. Continuing on here, Mike Wallace in the 33 for Andy Petree. And Joe Nemechek in the 26 Kmart Ford. And you got Brett Bodine, Todd Bodine, Shauna Robinson. I think she becomes a megastar in another alternative universe. And then we have Stacy Compton. As I've noted before, this is not canon to this timeline that I did in Racing Infinity. As you can also tell, I used the 2 Kmart Fords, and of course you may remember Kmart filed for bankruptcy, and it ultimately that team met its demise at that point. So yeah, just in time. We're actually getting close to the command to fire the engines. 113.
Fighters, start your engines!
Ooh, that caught me off guard. All right. So there you go. We got the command to fire the engines. 113 laps. And we're in for an exciting one. All right. Who do you guys got winning? Post who you think's going to win in the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. And with that being said, we're about to get started here. So Stewart, Elliott, Earnhardt Sr., Johnson, Kurt Busch, Terry Labonte will lead the field to the green flag. I got good news. I don't see any smoke coming from any cars because, hey, sometimes that happens in NR 2003. All right. The NASCAR Winston Cup Series about to go racing in the Music City. Nashville Superspeedway, a track that opened in 2001. About to see some Cup Series racing. Stewart, Elliott lead them to the green flag. And we're racing at Nashville. Off turn 2, Bill Elliott got a strong start there, and he's going to lead right away. Stewart battling Jimmy Johnson there for second. And they come off turn 4, and Bill Elliott is going to lead the first lap here at Nashville. Back behind him, it's side by side between some of the drivers. You got Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Dale Earnhardt. And then Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte back behind them. These 42 drivers look to win themselves a replica guitar. One of my favorite things about Nashville Super Speedway is winning a guitar. And the rookie, Jimmy Johnson, how about this? Moving his way to second. Tony Stewart behind him still. Meanwhile, you got Earnhardt and Kurt Busch still battling for position. That battle going on for 4th place. Still side by side, Kurt Busch and Dale Earnhardt not giving up a single inch there, but Jeff Gordon, he's there to pounce, as well as Matt Kenseth. Dale Earnhardt is able to take 4th, and now you see Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson battling side by side for second, and Tony Stewart trying to fight back on that inside line. Dale Earnhardt starting to creep into the picture. Meanwhile, Bill Elliott, man, he is just pulled away. He's got this track all figured out. He's got a good setup going for him. He's got nothing to worry about right now. Bill Elliott looking pretty strong. Jimmy Johnson, meanwhile, holding off. 2 pretty good drivers there for second. The rookie really showing himself here tonight, as Tony Stewart and Dale Earnhardt now battle for 3rd. Kurt Busch back behind them. Jeff Gordon trying to work his way through as he battles Ricky Craven back there. That number 19 Pepsi Dodge, painted by Jets Racing Designs. Terry Labonte rounding out your top 10, but Dave Blaney looking strong here in that 77 car for Jasper Racing. Trying to sneak into the top 10 now. He's going to try and work off a draft off of the 28 of Ricky Rudd. See if he can get anything working there. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon and Kurt Busch battling for position. We're just 8 laps into this one. And now the drivers are starting to get settled in a little bit more. Elliott, Johnson, Stewart, Earnhardt, Gordon, your top 5 now, as Jeff Gordon finally clears Kurt Busch for position. Kurt Busch, of course, in his sophomore season as a Winston Cup driver, driving the 97 for the Cat in the Hat, Jack Roush. And now Jeff Gordon trying to chase down his good old rival, Dale Earnhardt. And now he looks to the inside of Earnhardt, as now they are going to battle for 4th. Earnhardt trying to hang strong on that outside line as much as he can, but I think Gordon may have the upper hand here. Gordon now in 4th. Bill Elliott still leads, but can Jimmy Johnson, driving for Morgan McClure, can he chase down Bill Elliott? we got a battle for fifth going on now between Kurt Busch and Dale Earnhardt. Matt Kenseth, Ricky Craven back behind them. Meanwhile, we see a bit of a breakaway in the top three. Elliott still leads. Johnson's there, but now Tony Stewart is knocking on the door. I wonder if Jimmy Johnson will join this timeline's DEI in the future. Well, who knows? I'm definitely open to continuing to, I'm open to continuing other storylines I have started. Obviously, I recently just did Dale Jr. to Gibbs Part 2, and yes, I agree that 19 looks absolutely beautiful on the track. Now Jeff Gordon wants to join in on this little party. We gotta see what kind of top speeds they're going into the corners here. Tony Stewart peeking to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. Can he make a move? Down the back straightaway. He's got an opening. Back to the start and finish line. Johnson still hangs on to second. Plenty of racing left to go in this one. We're just 15 laps into this one in the Music City at Nashville Super Speedway. And now Jeff Gordon working on Tony Stewart. He's got some momentum going. He's going to duck down to the inside. Kurt Busch, can he push the 19 past the 20? Dale Earnhardt still up there too in 6th. Stewart still hanging on. Sticking to that outside line. But Jeff Gordon, not able to get to him. Stewart might clear him coming off turn 2, and he's going to do so. Now Kurt Busch. He's going to take a crack at it. See if he can get around Jeff Gordon. He's got Dale Earnhardt behind them. And we have a lead change for the first time this afternoon. And it's the rookie, Jimmy Johnson, out in front. He gets past Bill Elliott for the lead. And now Tony Stewart. He's looking to follow suit now. And Stewart trying to clear Elliott. Elliott in danger of dropping back to third, if not even more. But he's going to hang on to that outside line on the front stretch. And Elliott will retain second for the time being as Stewart and Kurt Busch battle for third. It's rookie Jimmy Johnson out in front. Has he put Morgan McClure back on the map? Many questions surrounding him and that team this year, and, well, he could be showing that here this afternoon here at Nashville. Johnson leads. Let's take a look at that battle for third now. Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch, and now we got Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt up here in the mix. Exciting racing here early at Nashville Super Speedway in front of a sold-out crowd. The fans here are loving every single moment of it. Kurt Busch third, Jeff Gordon fourth, Tony Stewart slips to fifth. He could be under fire from Dale Earnhardt. Rest of your top 10 looks like this. Dale Earnhardt 6th, Matt Kenseth is 7th, Ricky Rudd 8th, Ricky Craven 9th, Terry Labonte in 10th. And behind Terry Labonte is the 77 of Dave Blaney. And he's got a bit of a gap between he and Rusty Wallace, who is in 12th. So for about the first 17 laps, it's been all Bill Elliott, but now Jimmy Johnson out in front here in Nashville. Matt Kenseth battling Dale Earnhardt up there. That's for about 6th place as Matt Kenseth is going to get around the Intimidator. Now Ricky Rudd and Ricky Craven are there as well. Earnhardt trying to fight back. He has slipped to 7th. Imagine these guys at the Nashville Street Course IndyCar does. You know, I would... Oh, wait a sec. We got another battle. Bill Elliott trying to take the lead back. Side by side with Jimmy Johnson. Perhaps old school versus new school. A veteran versus a rookie. Johnson trying to hang on to that outside line. Bill Elliott trying to push his way forward. He's got another new school driver behind him, Kurt Busch. Can Johnson clear Elliott down the backstretch? I don't think he's able to. Elliott's teammate, Jeff Gordon, is there. Johnson is going to hang on. Yeah, the Nashville Street Course, I would love to see that in NR 2003. Heck, even iRacing, too. That would be really fun. Now we got a 4-car battle. And yes, I agree. We do need more street courses in NR 2003. After that Chicago race this year, I'm sold. A Chevrolet, 2 Dodges, and a Ford in this top 4 group as Kurt Busch now battles Bill Elliott for 2nd. And Busch is looking to clear him. How about that 97 Ford? Now Jeff Gordon looking to get around Elliott. Wow, Elliott had a huge surge going into turn 1, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to try and get around Kurt Busch. And now he's in danger of losing 3rd from Jeff Gordon. Elliott, who had such a strong start, now starting to slip back a little bit as he battles his teammate Jeff Gordon for 3rd. Jimmy Johnson has now led for about 10 laps so far in this one. This is 2002, so obviously not just getting 5 bonus points for leading a lap, but an extra 5 for the most led can certainly help you towards the championship. I'm creating my own what-if scenario based off your 2 what-ifs and if they combined. Hey, I love that. I definitely support, you know, spreading the creativity and showing the love and passion for NASCAR and all things motorsports. I would love to see that. Bill and Jeff make great... I think Bill Elliott and Jeff Gordon would actually make really good teammates, for sure. You know, well-established veteran like Elliott. You got Jeff Gordon, who's been an absolute rising star in the 1990s. And we got some green flag pit stops going on here. Let's see here. Kurt Busch making his way down pit road. We also got Tony Stewart, Terry Labonte, Dave Blaney. And we'll have to see how things shake up here after a round of green flag pit stops. And we have a caution. I see some smoke. We're going to have to see what occurred here. So what I like to do is I'm going to go on the pace car and wait for when the lights came on. And then I go check to see what happens. Ooh, wow. Couple of dodges. Jeremy Mayfield and Kyle Petty. What happened here? Let's take a look. Oh, man. Mayfield just hooked the 45. Just got into him. Oh, dear. I hope no one else gets involved. Look out. Oh, that was close. That was, looks like they were battling for 17th place at the time of the wreck. So, oh, man. Right as green flag pit stops were starting, too. Oh, man, that is tough. That is very, very tough. We're going to have to see who this all affects here. on board with Jeremy Mayfield. Caution is out here in Nashville. A 2-car incident between Mayfield and Kyle Petty. So who all went down pit road? Quite a handful of guys went down pit road, so we'll have to see what the field looks like. Casey Atwood down there, Dave Blaney down there, Terry Labonte, Kurt Busch, one of the big notable ones. All right, let's fast forward here. You see Kyle Petty and Jeremy Mayfield there on pit road. And Kurt Busch down pit road again. Interesting. Whoa, what in the world happened to Tony Stewart? He's got damage on the front of his car and he's out of the race. Huh? Well, we're definitely going to have to see what happened to Tony. Something definitely had to have happened under caution. The magical wonders of this 20-year-old video game. Let's take a look what happened here. Stewart was, whoa. The one, looks like everyone just... Okay, there was a wreck ahead. Runs into Jimmy Spencer. Oh, man. Oh, my. The 25 just pile drive the 41, too. Into the side, putting Spencer on his roof. That's Jerry Nadeau. So that's why Kurt Busch went down pit road. He must have... Oh. Even in this timeline, we get some beef between Kurt Busch and Jimmy Spencer. That only sounds fitting enough. And oh, man. As Jim Ross would say, by God. Oh my gosh, what else is new? Wow. Insanity taking place here in Nashville. 33 of Mike Wallace. Everyone trying to slow down. He just gets into Michael Waltrip, sending him into the wall. Oh, hi, Joe Nemechek. And hello, Nemechek's teammate, Todd Bodine, as well as Brett Bodine. Oh, my goodness. Ah, Shauna. I guess these got those good old ARCA brakes going here today. Kurt, don't hit... And I'm a little worried now. Okay, I thought Brett Bodine was just going to sit there. So, wow. Okay, a lot just happened there. That was a lot to take in. This is why you don't leave your seat, just like Kurt said. Yeah, what do you know? And we, like I said, 2002 in a different timeline, and we still had Kurt Busch and Jimmy Spencer beef. Ah. You'll love to see it. All right. So obviously, because the caution happened during green flag pit stops, this will certainly shake up the field. So you got some guys on the tail end of the lead lap. Let's find out who's truly leading the way. Okay, so Jimmy Johnson is your leader. Jeff Gordon is second. Ricky Craven is third. Rusty Wallace is fourth. Bill Elliott fifth. Dale Earnhardt sixth. In seventh is Ward Burton. Ryan Newman eighth. Mark Martin ninth. And Matt Kenseth is 10th. We are now coming to the restart after having a couple of weird flips under yellow. Pace car down pit road. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Craven, Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, your top five as they go back up through the gears. And we're back to racing at Nashville. 34 laps are complete. And now it's time to play the game of how many of the drivers on the tail end of the lead lap are going to get lapped. And who's going to take advantage of all this? Looks like the answer seems to be Jeff Gordon. He gets to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. He's going to waste no time at all on the rookie. Oh, we're going almost 3 wide now. Elliott Sadler way up high on the track. And look at that. Jimmy Johnson uses the 66 of Todd Bodine. has some sort of advantage to keep Jeff Gordon behind him. So now Johnson is going to keep the lead. But look at this. Rusty Wallace, you see, on that outside line. Rusty Wallace working his way to second place now, trying to get around Todd Bodine. Gordon slips back to third. Or actually, he's going to slip back quite a bit more. Dale Earnhardt now trying to use that outside line. So now Johnson leads, Rusty Wallace second, Dale Earnhardt third, then it's Jeff Gordon and Ricky Craven. Johnson is surrounded by lap traffic, so this could get interesting. Johnson behind the 2000 champion Bobby Labonte. That number 18 Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Who's going to find that clean air first? Rusty Wallace, he's there. That outside line actually might be moving faster. Johnson's going to have to get around that 18 real quick. He's going to lose the lead any moment now as Rusty Wallace is to the outside. And the Blue Deuce, Rusty Wallace, now takes the lead from Jimmy Johnson. He is your third different leader today. Dale Earnhardt using that outside line as well. Jeff Gordon is also following suit, as well as Bill Elliott. Johnson could be in some trouble here if he doesn't get past the 18. And now Wallace and Earnhardt, they're potentially going to have a little bit more of clean air to work with, some more breathing room. Not as many lap cars ahead of them now. So now we're a bit clear now. Your top three is Wallace, Earnhardt, Gordon. We're going to come to 40 laps complete coming to the line. Let's see here. Are you going to do a Jeff Gordon of Bill Davis Racing Infinity video? Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. Like I said, with Racing Infinity, there are infinite possibilities, infinite scenarios to play out. It's certainly one we could play with in the near future. As Rusty Wallace continues to lead the way, can Dale Earnhardt or Jeff Gordon take a crack at the lead? And now they're approaching a few more lapped cars, so who's going to get out of this mess? Ahead of them, John Andretti, Dave Blaney, Dale Jarrett, Casey Atwood, as well as Terry Labonte. Rusty Wallace now to the inside of that lapped car of John Andretti. Dale sticks to the outside. Now Jeff Gordon's going to stay on the inside. And Wallace continues to hold on. Let's take a look back here now as Jimmy Johnson's still under a bit of trouble here. He's currently fifth, about to lose that position though to his fellow rookie competitor Ryan Newman in the 12. Johnson and Newman have been really just red-hot rookies in 2002. And they're continuing to show that here this evening. And Newman will clear Johnson, and Newman will move to fifth. As now Rusty Wallace starts to work on the 77 of Dave Blaney. Just 4 more lap cars ahead. And it looks like the following are out of the race. Tony Stewart in the 20, the 41 of Jimmy Spencer, the 33 of Mike Wallace, the 26 of Joe Nemechek, and the 40 of Sterling Marlin. Meanwhile, we see Jeff Gordon now moving to second. For the most part, Everham Motorsports looking very strong here this afternoon. Of course, Casey Atwood, unfortunately, being a lap down in 28th right now. He was kind of stuck in that position thanks to the timing of that caution. What happened to Tony Stewart? He got into a wreck under caution. Under that last caution, that's what happened, and that's what caused him to have an early exit from the race. So, yeah, tough break for guys like Tony Stewart. That was, maybe perhaps once this race is over, I may have to go back and see everything that happened. And, yeah, we'll definitely take a look at what happened to Sterling Marlin as well. Because, yeah, it looked like he DNF'd before that caution ever came out, so I wonder if he might have had some sort of mechanical problem. It's certainly possible. Getting close to 50 laps being complete. How you guys feeling? Who do you guys think's going to win? Is it going to be Rusty Wallace, who might be in trouble? He's being caught behind a couple lap cars. Will it be Jeff Gordon? Or even Dale Earnhardt? Or perhaps Bill Elliott or Jimmy Johnson or perhaps Ryan Newman? Still a good amount of cars in this race that can certainly win it, and this battle for the lead could heat up. Rusty Wallace stuck behind Dale Jarrett. Can he make it 3 wide? He's going to stay behind him, not able to get around the 88. We might have a little bit of total team control, however, on that outside line. Jeff Gordon decides, I'm going to work with Casey here to see if I can take the lead away. And Jeff Gordon, did he get that last time at the line? Yes, he did. Jeff Gordon got credited with that lap led. Dale Earnhardt not letting go. They're almost going to go 3 wide for the lead. It almost happened. And Rusty Wallace fights back. Wow, I thought for sure that Gordon was going to steal it there with the help from Casey Atwood, but not the case now, and Earnhardt may have a little bit more momentum on his side. Gordon trying to stick to that outside line, but I don't think it's working for him. He's about to lose 3rd and perhaps 4th to Bill Elliott. Oh, interesting. Wallace goes up high. That's going to allow for Dale Earnhardt to peek to the inside. Earnhardt looking to become I believe, the 5th different leader in this contest, in this race. And, oh, man, he almost had to move the 2 up the track a little bit. Was Dale trying to rattle Rusty's cage, perhaps? Then again, Rusty and Dale, those two have raced with each other for so many years. Bill Elliott as well. They just know each other. They've been racing with each other dating back to the 80s. Lots of fun, exciting racing here at Nashville Super Speedway. You don't want to miss it, as we're 52 laps complete of the 113 scheduled. Right now, we have a pack of about 6 cars contending for the lead. It's Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt in the 3, Jeff Gordon in the 19, Bill Elliott in the 9, followed by Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson, a pair of rookies. A mixture of veterans versus tomorrow. The next car behind them is the 17 of Matt Kenseth. He is 2 seconds back from those guys. It seems like positions, and they're just changing lap after lap here. Rusty Wallace somehow still able to hang on to this lead, despite that we got some lap traffic. We got a slow car, the 49 of Shauna Robinson. Look at this, 3 wide! Oh, man, I think the lap traffic really shook things up there, as Dale Earnhardt has taken the lead here at Nashville. Dale Earnhardt used that to his advantage. Now the question is Can he hold off Rusty Wallace? Can he get around Dale Jarrett? Who's going to get that oh so good clean air? Meanwhile, fun battle for third. We got Jimmy Johnson and Bill Elliott. Jeff Gordon there in the mix. How about Jimmy Johnson? He's running really well today. The rookie. Ryan Newman also running well. I gotta say, we got an exciting rookie class for 2002. You got them. You got Casey Atwood. You got Kevin Harvick. So much young talent coming up to the Winston Cup this season, and it's showing. Ooh, the 88 looks like he scraped the wall going into turn 1. Just as a quick note, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all are enjoying this. And this has actually been a fun race so far. It's been really fun and competitive. And like I said, we'll discuss a lot more stuff. We'll chat and all that here after the race. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt still leading the way as he now approaches the 91 of Casey Atwood, Rusty Wallace, and Jimmy Johnson up there in the mix. Meanwhile, look at this. Jeff Gordon under pressure from Ryan Newman, the Rocket. How about this? Couple of Indiana kids, right? Newman to the inside of Gordon. Elliott behind them. Can Newman clear him? They're still side by side as they go into turn 1. Let's see what Gordon does on that outside line. Still trying to hang on. Newman with a bit more of an advantage. Let's see how they look going into turn 3. Ryan Newman clears Jeff Gordon for 4th. And now, battle for the lead. Rusty Wallace trying to take it back from Dale Earnhardt with Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman up there in the mix. Did Brad Keselowski wreck Carl Edwards to win at Talladega in the Dale Jr. to Gibbs universe? Because I did say Keselowski did win, I'm going to say yes. And meanwhile, green flag pit stops. Earnhardt, Johnson, Elliott, the notable ones coming down pit road as everyone slows down. Looks like some other guys started pitting as well. As Earnhardt, Johnson, Elliott work their way down pit road. And here we go. Who's going to get out first between these three? This could be a fun battle to see who could potentially take the lead. I know Rusty Wallace and showing that his teammate Ryan Newman is second. Of course, they still have to pit. Earnhardt and Johnson are going to jump out ahead of Bill Elliott. Elliott's stuck on pit road. He took a while to get off pit road. That's going to hurt him. All right, I'm going to just sneak and use the AI here. The UI, excuse me. We see Rusty Wallace now on pit road. Ryan Newman making his way down. Jeff Gordon is there. Ricky Craven. Newman's done with his stop. So is Gordon. And the two Penske Fords exit together. No issues so far besides Bill Elliott stopped taking a little longer. And there's Dale Earnhardt back there. And it looks like after things cycle through, Rusty Wallace will still have the lead. But we'll have to wait and see. He has his teammate Ryan Newman behind him. And that 12's been pretty fast. As a matter of fact, Newman's already looking to challenge him. Here comes Ryan Newman. Side by side for the lead, and Dale Earnhardt starting to creep into the picture. Jimmy Johnson back there in 4th, it looks like. And hello, Newman. Ryan Newman to the lead here at Nashville. And now Dale Earnhardt to the inside of Rusty Wallace. And Dale Earnhardt Sr. moves to second for the time being. Let's see if he clears Wallace coming off turn 2. And meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson is 4th. And Robbie Gordon, how about that? Robbie Gordon showing 5th in that singular wireless Chevrolet. Where did Robbie Gordon come from? This is a good run for him. Jeff Gordon is shown back in 6th. He has to fend off, looks like 3 Roushfords behind him. Mark Martin, the 97 of Kurt Busch, the 99 of Jeff Burton. And in 10th place is Jeff Green in the 44. So how about some of these guys like Robbie Gordon, Jeff Green, getting some good runs suddenly here today. As Ryan Newman continues to pull away. We're past halfway, 64 laps complete here at Nashville Super Speedway here in the Music City. It's been an interesting battle between veterans and rookies here this afternoon. Dale Earnhardt starting to chase down Ryan Newman a little bit. Also during this race is, well, hold on a sec. Dale Earnhardt looking to the inside of Ryan Newman, the Intimidator versus the Rocket. And Dale Earnhardt trying to take the lead back. Will this allow for Rusty Wallace to sneak back into the picture? And Dale Earnhardt literally neck and neck at the line. He was credited for leading that lap. But Ryan Newman powers ahead on that outside line, and Ryan Newman's going to keep the lead. Here comes Rusty Wallace to the inside now. This is getting really interesting, and maybe Jimmy Johnson and Robbie Gordon back there trying to get around the lap car of Elliott Sadler. Who knows what will happen if those two can sneak up to the leaders. As that battle for second goes on, I want to give a quick shout-out, by the way, to a guy by the name of the Duke of Rebels. He actually made, he posted on Twitter and tagged me in it, he actually made a one of the cars. It was a car from the Dale Earnhardt to Robert Yates Racing Infinity video. He made a recreation of the number 3 Michael Waltrip recreation that I made for that video. You know, that blue, white, and red GM Goodwrench Service Plus Chevrolet. He made that for the Gen 4 or ARCA cars. It looks amazing, and I just wanted to give the Duke of Rebels a huge shout-out. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for making that. That is so cool for someone to recreate that. I definitely need to save that as a favorite in iRacing, and when I get back on there, I at some point definitely want to race that scheme, so thank you so much for that. And with that, Ryan Newman still battling Dale Earnhardt for the lead. Rusty Wallace shown in third. Jimmy Johnson and Robbie Gordon trying to get to work, as well as Jeff Gordon, as they're going to try and catch the leaders. And it looks like they are catching the leaders. And this is going to get interesting, especially when you got some lap traffic up ahead. It could make things a little bit more intriguing. We saw that last time, that 3-wide battle, and how Dale Earnhardt was able to take the lead from Rusty Wallace. So let's see how things net out here. They quickly approached Michael Waltrip in the 15. a good friend of Earnhardt's for many years. And all three of them are going to go right by Michael Waltrip with no problem. And it's still Ryan Newman out in front. And I can tell you what, in this second half of the race so far, Ryan Newman has certainly shown he belongs here. He belongs in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. He has definitely shown himself that. Jimmy Johnson, you can say the same thing as he sits back and forth, especially for a struggling team like Morgan McClure Motorsports. He's kind of helping put that team back on the map. Very, very impressive out of a rookie driver. And now the top three are now starting to catch the lap cars of Bobby Labonte and Casey Atwood. Jimmy Johnson just being a GOAT as usual. I mean, honestly, yeah, it just comes to show how good he is. It's kind of interesting to see how he'll wind up in this timeline. Now Ryan Newman battling a fellow rookie in Casey Atwood, but it's not for position, of course. That 91's a lapped car. Not a factor in this battle, but he could be a factor in who could potentially change positions. They're now catching the 49 of Shauna Robinson, who's a little bit down on power in that 49 car. And who's going to emerge out of this one as Robinson moves to the outside. And Ryan Newman is going to keep the lead, it looks like, for the time being. It's still Newman, Earnhardt, Wallace. Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, has moved to fourth. He's gotten around Jimmy Johnson for that position. Robbie Gordon back behind them, but he's under fire from the lap car of Dale Jarrett in the 88. Robbie has a bit of breathing room for now. He still has a car separating between him and Mark Martin. Hard to imagine Shauna not being in winning equipment. After everything with Sunday Night Lights so far, yeah, honestly, it's different to look at it now. Meanwhile, look at this. Jeff Gordon has chased down Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace. Ryan Newman has he's been able to get around Bobby Labonte. Now he has a little bit of insurance between he and second. Jimmy Johnson might be joining in on that mix very soon, as well as Robbie Gordon. Coming around to complete lap number 79, coming to lap 80. As we start to get into the later stages of this race, I would anticipate one more round of pit stops. Whether they're green flag or under caution, we've only had one caution so far today. Yeah, everything's looking good for young Ryan Newman. He's just going by everybody. He's got a few lap cars now between Wallace, Earnhardt, and Gordon, and now Johnson. Jerry Nadeau had some damage from that wreck under yellow as he sticks to the outside. Newman with a half of a second lead. Again, now he's got the two lapped cars separating him and his teammate, Rusty Wallace. Almost all single file here in this front pack of cars. How about this battle for second now? Earnhardt and Wallace. Earnhardt to the inside, trying to take second away. Gordon goes high, Johnson goes low. Side-by-side battle for second and fourth. And it looks like Rusty will hold on to second for the time being, as Gordon and Johnson still battle it out. Meanwhile, Ryan Newman's lead just continues to grow, almost out to a second now at this point. Jeff Gordon now in third. Almost going three wide. Casey Atwood almost wanted to split between a couple of the leaders there as Dale Earnhardt tries to hang on for fourth. And now Dale Earnhardt's going to get around Jimmy Johnson for position. Now battle for second. As Jeff Gordon peeks to the inside. Does he have the advantage over Rusty Wallace? Yes, he does. And Jeff Gordon will clear that blue deuce at number 2 Miller Lite Ford for the time being. Rusty's still trying to fight back. The 18 of Bobby Labonte going down pit road, and we could be seeing the final round of pit stops here at Nashville. Looks like Dale Earnhardt's working his way down pit road. He's going to be the first of those top leaders to pit. Elliott Sadler, who's a lap down, will follow him. Earnhardt comes into his stall, and his crew will go to work. Terry Labonte also into his stall. A couple of the petty dodges there. Jeff Gray and John Andretti. Dale Jr., Jeremy Mayfield, Johnny Benson, Dave Blaney. Jimmy Johnson now on pit road. I wonder if Ryan Newman drove for Alan Kowicki in another timeline. Hey, I certainly think with him having an engineering background, I think it's certainly possible. You see the 9 of Bill Elliott also on pit road, and now we see the Penske Fords coming off pit road together. Man, like I said, we got some good total team control from Roger Penske's organization. Wallace and Newman working really well together today, getting in and off of pit road together, trying to ensure a potential 1-2 finish for Penske Racing. Coming to 92, or lap 92, I should say. As the 3 and the 2 battle for position. They got to deal with the 25 of Jerry Nadeau as well. And Jeff Gordon's going to try and stay in front of him. He's got to get up to speed, though. Earnhardt all over the back of Gordon now. I don't know how much longer he could potentially hold on to that position. And here comes Dale Earnhardt to the inside. You know what? Yeah, I think, honestly, an alternate universe where Kawicki lives and AK Racing, exists into the 2000s, I could honestly see that being Newman and Kenseth being their guys for sure. So, as it stands, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt are battling for second. Ryan Newman is gone. He is checked out from the field 2.3 seconds ahead of these guys here for second, as we have 21 laps remaining here at Nashville Super Speedway. Earnhardt and Gordon continue the battle. Rusty Wallace is fourth. Mark Martin has entered the top 5. He works his way up to 5th. Robbie Gordon is 6th. 7th, you'll see Kurt Busch. 8th is Jeff Burton. Jeff Green now up to 9th. How about that? And Jeremy Mayfield is 10th. After getting into that wreck with Kyle Petty that brought out the only caution today, Mayfield has found his way to 10th. And meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson is back in 12th. He lost a lot of ground on that pit stop. Under fire from Dale Earnhardt Jr. Ricky Rudd trying to enter the top 10. Trying to get around Jimmy Mayfield in the 7. Man, tough break for Johnson. He's ran so well, but this late stage of the race has not been in his favor at all. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon has cleared for second as Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt battle for third place. Ryan Newman almost out to a 4-second lead. He is in cruise control at this point in the race. We've had a lot of fun, exciting racing today. And, obviously there's been a lot of pit strategies, a lot of pit stops, a lot of long green flag runs. Meanwhile, we got a battle back here as Wallace is still third, Earnhardt fourth. Or no, Mark Martin is fourth, excuse me. Robbie Gordon's trying to get around his teammate Dale Earnhardt. How about Robbie Gordon? Good solid run for him today. Trying to crack inside the top 5, get around Dale Earnhardt if he can. And meanwhile, you see Kurt Busch back there in 7th. Earnhardt's able to hold off his teammate for now. If he can try and see if he can fight back and get around Mark Martin, he's going to try and do that. He goes to the inside, but that didn't work well. And now Robbie Gordon on the outside, trying to get around Earnhardt for 5th. And Robbie Gordon has entered the top 5, trying to one-up his RCR teammate. Not only that, how about this? Robbie Gordon's going for 4th. Man, that 31 car has come to life late in this one, and now Robbie Gordon is going to take 4th from Mark Martin. I'm curious, can he take 3rd from Rusty Wallace, perhaps? How about Robbie Gordon, huh? Where did he come from? This is very, very impressive. 15 laps to go here at Nashville. And the caution is out. I thought I saw the yellow flag. We're going to have to see what that's for. And that's going to eliminate Ryan Newman's 3.5 second lead. So that's going to make things really interesting here. So, again, I'm just going to do the little trick where I just keep an eye on the pace car, wait for the lights to come on, and let's see what happened. And let's see if anything crazy happens under yellow. Looks like Terry Labonte and Dave Blaney. So what happened to Terry Labonte? Let's take a look. Labonte was 31st, not on the lead lap, and he just kind of lost power going into turns 3 and 4. Tries to get down to pit road. Doesn't see Dave Blaney at all, and Bobby Hamilton clips him. Oh, Bobby Hamilton just tagged the 5 car of Terry Labonte. Let's see if anything else crazy happens. But yeah, the 5 now on pit road. Oh, man. Taking our look at the replay is, yeah, Terry Labonte was trying to get down on pit road. Bobby Hamilton, just an innocent victim. Innocent bystander. Lots of damage to the right side of his Square D Chevrolet. See if anything wild happens under caution. I don't think that'll be the case this time because thankfully, you know, it wasn't during green flag pit stops. Let's fast forward a little bit here back to being live. You can see what failed by checking chat. That's a good point. Fun fact, if I, for later years, like, you know, 2017 onward, when I do stage racing, I will use chat, and I will type exclamation point yellow. No spaces, nothing, just the exclamation point in yellow, and that's how I bring out the caution for stages. So just a fun little tip for you guys there if you're ever doing stuff like this. I don't know, maybe perhaps I can do a video about that sometime down the road, but lights are off on the pace car. So right now we are at 10 laps to go. We will restart with 9 to go. Here's your top 10. Ryan Newman leads. Jeff Gordon has a couple of lap cars behind him, or in front of him, I should say. He's second. Third place is Rusty Wallace. Robbie Gordon is 4th. Mark Martin is 5th. Dale Earnhardt is 6th. Then it's Kurt Busch 7th. Jeff Burton 8th. Jeff Green 9th. And Jimmy Johnson in 10th. Can Ryan Newman hang on for the win here in the Music City? Or will it be Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Robbie Gordon, or somebody else? 9 laps to decide the winner. A short dash to the finish. As that All-Tail Ford leads the field back to the green flag. Here we go. We're back underway at Nashville. And Jeff Gordon is wasting no time. He jumps to the outside. He's trying to find a way around the 14 car of Stacy Compton. Gordon wasting no time. He passes Compton. Now he's trying to get around Bobby Labonte in the 18. Look at Jeff Gordon go. He wasted no time. It's now him and Ryan Newman as Rusty Wallace still trying to get around the lap cars. We're going to have to keep our eyes on that 19 car. Can Jeff Gordon catch Ryan Newman and win this race? Ryan Newman had such a nice lead before that caution, and now he's going to have to go to work here in these closing laps. Seven laps to go. Gordon trying everything he can. It is him and Newman for the win. Coming to the line for 6 laps to go. And it's still Ryan Newman, and he gained a little bit on that last lap. Starting to look like that Newman could be pulling away. It's a shame. Jeff Gordon did everything he could on that restart. He did everything right, but he is starting to run out of time. 5 laps to go at Nashville. Meanwhile, looking back here, battle for third between Robbie Gordon and Rusty Wallace, and Robbie Gordon takes third. What a great run for him today. Mark Martin now battling Rusty Wallace. Four laps to go at the line. And Gordon, he gained on that last lap. But man, he is running out of time. He's going to have to find a good line to stick with, see if he can gain any more speed, catch a draft with that 12, and have a shot at this. And Gordon, he's starting to get a little closer. Maybe there's a chance for him. Coming to the line, here we go. 3 laps to go here at Nashville. Hang on tight, Newman. It's not over yet. He's going to have to show why he's the Rocket Man here late, because he is battling one of the sport's best in Jeff Gordon. Two laps to go. And again, Gordon has gained so much. Can Ryan Newman hang on, or will Jeff Gordon steal the win? Gordon's going to have to get a really good run going into turn 3. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he is all over the back of him now. This is his best shot. He's got 1 lap left to do it. White flag here at Nashville. Nobody is sitting down. All the fans standing up here at Nashville. They could see something big here if Jeff Gordon can make the move. He's running out of time. This is it. It's all or nothing now. Down the back straightaway. Newman trying to hang on into turn 3. Gordon trying to push through. Does he have any time left? I don't think he's going to. Coming off turn 4, checkered flag waves, and it's the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman, who's going to win at Nashville. What an exciting finish there. Jeff Gordon, I thought he had a shot for sure and just couldn't get the job done. Maybe perhaps if he had a few more laps, he could have gotten him. But man, what an exciting finish here. And I want to note, Dale Earnhardt Jr. snuck into the top 10. He finishes in 10th. How about that? What a race. What a race. How'd you guys feel about that one? That was pretty fun. So I'll run through the final results real quick. You see your top 10 there. Ryan Newman is your winner. Jeff Gordon is second. Robbie Gordon finishes third. Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin finish out the top 5. Dale Earnhardt, Jimmy Johnson able to fight back to 7th. Kurt Busch 8th. Jeff Burton 9th. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. rounding out the top 10. 11th was Jeff Green. 12th was Jeremy Mayfield. 13th was Ricky Rudd. 14th was Kevin Harvick. Ricky Craven 15th. Bill Elliott, Mike Skinner, Ward Burton, Steve Park, Ken Schrader, rounding out your top 20. Take a look at your results there. I'm going to do something really quick here, and we'll get back to it. So with all that being said, I'm going to at least try a little bit of experiment here, as I'm still trying to learn how to use whatchamacallit, Streamlabs. Let's see here. That wasn't right. Let's see. Sometimes you gotta think things on the fly. Alright. Thank you, Jet. So there you have it. Why not? I want to save that. I want to save that race. That was fun. Something fun to at least look back on. So yeah, Bobby Hamilton, Terry Labonte, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Spencer, Mike Wallace, Joe Nemechek, Sterling Marlin, all wrecking out here in the race. But once again, it's Ryan Newman, your winner. Here at Nashville. Yeah, but overall, what a fun race. That was an incredibly fun race. There was a lot of action for sure, a lot of passing, a lot of contending for position there. There was a good amount of cars until the very end that were battling for it. And then, of course, you had Newman versus Jeff Gordon there. I thought Jeff Gordon was, it looked like for a moment, like, Newman's starting to get away with it. Here comes Jeff Gordon right back to it. So, hey, that's why you watch to the finish. You never know what's going to happen. Heck, I mean, Newman could have blown his motor, right? He could have lost the lead and lost the race, you know? So, yeah, big congratulations there to Ryan Newman, and we'll have some stuff to talk about for sure. Just talking about all things NASCAR. If you guys have any questions at all about anything, and of course, talking about content moving forward. So stick around, stay tuned. We'll talk more about it. I will tell you guys right now, the next Racing Infinity is coming this Friday. So I actually already have a lot of that video done. I'm really excited to get that one out to you guys. Yeah, Jet, thank you for doing that graphic there on the fly. That was really impressive. That's why I paused for a moment. I was like, oh, man, I got to get that in there. So I'm still figuring out how to use Streamlabs OBS. I think I have an idea of how to use it now, so thank you. Faster than fast, quicker than quick. He is lightning. All right. Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah, the next Racing Infinity is coming out this Friday. I'm not going to give much away, except it will be the Truck Series. I'll say that as much. It'll be the Truck Series. And I really like how I put this one together. So, stay tuned for that one. And I will say the 20th one, it's going to be a big one too. It's definitely going to be a big one. So, stick around for that. We'll have that coming out a little after the new year as well. We had Kurt versus Jimmy in this timeline as well, and I believe NASCAR wants the driver, crew chief, and owner of the 97 to the trailer post race. Will the next Racing Infinity be episode 19? Yes. That's right, race fan. We're trucking. We're going to be trucking in the next Racing Infinity. This is a live Racing Infinity, so it's not technically like a volume. It's just like on the fly, on the fly live edition. But this was a lot of fun to do, and we'll definitely have to do this again at some point soon. Definitely a fun idea. If you guys like it, we'll certainly do more of it, right? So, all right. So, with all that being said, let's move on now. If I can figure this out. There we go. All right. So, let's move on now to some other things. Obviously, a bit of a pre-birthday stream. My birthday's coming up this Wednesday. And, I'm kind of going to open the floor to any questions, comments. Really, I'm open to discuss anything. I guess I really, in terms of other sports, I didn't really have to worry about all things football because my Bengals played yesterday, and that team just refuses to die. They were down 17-3, and they came back and beat the Vikings in overtime. With Jake Browning, by the way. Joe Burrow's out for the year, so it's kind of been entertaining to watch. You should do more of these. Yeah, certainly. These are always a lot of fun to do, and I'm definitely going to look into more in our 2003 content, what else I can do heading into 2024. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Have you ever tried the IndyCar mods? Yes. One of the early Racing Infinities was IndyCar at North Wilkesboro. I should eventually look into doing more IndyCar, sometimes Formula One. Try something like that down the road because I know there's mods for that. So it just kind of comes down to seeing what plays out, what ideas we have moving forward. Congrats on being middle-aged. Now let's hope our Cincinnati Reds kick some ass next season. I can hope. The Reds, man. Can you believe Ohtani's contract? His salary is worth more than the net, what is it called? The net worth of our owner, the Reds owner. And he's he's last in net worth, so I don't know. My Steelers played yesterday well. That did not do well at all. Yeah, you know what? The AFC North is just a bloodbath. So those two games that the Bengals have at the end of the season between the Steelers and the Browns, they're going to be interesting. They're going to be interesting. Since I'm talking sports, if you're curious about other teams I like, I grew up a huge Louisville Cardinals fan, or some of you may call it Louisville. There's 600 different ways to pronounce it. It's kind of like Cincinnati where I live. There's 500 different ways to spell it. In case you're wondering, it's Cincinnati. But anyway, I've always been a Louisville Cardinal fan. I've been absolutely excited for the football team this year. I didn't expect them to do that well. So, I figured year one under Jeff Brom, we'll get things sorted out. But no, 10-2, ACC championship game where they're going to go play USC in the Holiday Bowl. I'm excited. So, and they're really taking advantage of the transfer portal. So, whew. I don't want to talk about basketball. I'm just going to leave it as that. I know they beat Pepperdine today, but, oh, man. I don't know. You're also in Cincy? Yeah, you from Cincy too, man? Oh, wow. Yeah. I've kind of moved around a bit growing up. But I lived in Cincinnati for quite some time now. I will say I went to college at Northern Kentucky University. Go Norse. That's also another college basketball team I cheer for. Love the Norse. Love the Norse. But let's see what else. Soccer, FC Cincinnati. Really bummed that we didn't win the MLS championship this year. Really thought we had it. There's hockey. Weirdly enough, because I picked it up from my dad, who's from St. Louis, I am a huge St. Louis Blues fan. Over by the zoo. Oh, nice. Okay. I've checked out the Festival of Lights there. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I do like I do have a soft spot for St. Louis teams just because I have a lot of family there. As a matter of fact, that's where I go for Christmas a lot, and I'll be going there again this year as well. And of course now, St. Louis has a Cup Series date at Gateway, so I've been going to those races, and I'll be heading over there most likely next June as well. So my dad did tell me he wants to renew. So Gateway's a nice track, and I think one thing Gateway has going for them is that it's really close to the city. It's really close to downtown St. Louis. Not even the best MLS team in Ohio. 6 is greater than 1. Jet, I swear. I'm just happy the Blues finally won a Stanley Cup. Okay? That's like a running joke we have because he's a Chicago Blackhawks fan. I like the St. Louis Blues, and he always makes the joke because the Blackhawks have 6 Stanley Cups, the Blues have 1. Well, I hope, my dad also jokingly said, because he was born the same year the Blues started playing in the late 60s, and he always made the joke to me, he's like, I just want 1 Stanley Cup in St. Louis before I die. And so that's kind of me right now with the Bengals. I think a lot of people who are especially older than me feel that way. 2 years ago, so thought we had it. So thought we had that, man. We had it. And then Aaron Donald happened. Not even the best MLS team in Ohio. Bruh. Nah. I'm going to quote LA Knight. Nah. FC all the way. FC Cincy, baby. Another hockey team I do like are in the ECHL, the Cincinnati Cyclones. Those games are always so much fun to go to. I want to see if I can make it out to their New Year's Eve game, because every New Year's Eve that they have a home game, they do an indoor fireworks show after the game. Yeah, no joke. They do an indoor fireworks show. It's actually really neat. I don't watch the NBA, but I do enjoy college basketball. I also like the Pirates and the Penguins. Nice. The Penguins definitely have a good track record. NBA, my closest team has always been the Pacers, so I've kind of always had a soft spot for them. Fingers crossed that Louisville gets an NBA team, because I think that city's deserving of one, but it's a small market, so, the NBA is probably going to want to put a team in Seattle and Vegas. Woohoo! If you have the time and money, I highly recommend the IMSA race at Indy. I was there this year. It was the best race I've been to, and it's all access for just a general... Yeah, I was there too, actually. I was there for both days. I saw... The Pilot Challenge race was fun, too, because I thought it was just kind of cool to see IMS at night. I thought that was just different, really cool. I really enjoyed the IMSA race. So yeah, I did get to check that out. And the first time I went to an IMSA race was 2 years ago at Mid-Ohio. Mid-Ohio is a nice course. I know it's kind of out there. It's about 40 minutes north of Columbus. But yeah, I'm always fascinated with sports car racing. And one of these days for sure, when I have a little bit more money on me and I feel comfortable doing it, I really want to check out the Rolex 24 Daytona. I really want to check that out. So, near Penn State in the new Peach Bowl on New Year's Eve. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So, I'm definitely looking forward to the Holiday Bowl, see if Louisville can beat USC, because I know Caleb Williams is declaring for the draft. It's fun doing a little bit of sports talk, huh? With that being said, if you guys want to talk anything NASCAR, I am certainly down for that. SVG, right? Shane Van Gisbergen is going to run the Xfinity schedule full time. He and AJ Allmendinger, I know, are going to put on clinics on the road courses, so that's going to be fun. When I went to Indianapolis, I got to see both Xfinity and Cup races. I had credentials for those. I also went to the IRP truck race and ARCA race, and got to see SVG make his oval debut. And he talked about how much fun he had. So that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to next season is seeing SVG out there on the track. And I'm just really intrigued to see how he does in the stock car. I think he's going to be great. I'm really excited. Really, really excited. The Pilot Challenge race was fun. Plus, I met Robert Wickens at the track earlier, and he was such a cool dude. Oh, sweet. Yeah, because I think he was on the podium. It was really awesome to see Robert Wickens out there racing. And yeah, I was amazed. Before the races, you can literally walk up to the garages. You can walk down pit road. I got several autographs from drivers. I met guys like Chad McCumbee, who you may remember was in NASCAR at one point. He's in the Pilot Challenge now. So it's really cool to meet these drivers, meet these teams. Fun fact, there's actually a Porsche team called Wright Motorsports. They're based out of Cincinnati in a town called Batavia. Fun fact. So I was intrigued by that because one time I was driving home from work and I just see a big IMSA hauler that said Wright Motorsports. And I'm sitting there going, Who are those guys? I looked them up and I went, oh my God, these guys have a shop here in Cincy? What? That's so cool. So, I love stuff like that. That's pretty cool. So I can't help but have a little bit of a soft spot for that team. All SVG needs is a road course win and a decent run at the Roval, and he's in the round of 8. Honestly, yeah, right? And he could pull it off. I think he can. So what's intriguing is he has to run the ARCA race in order to run Xfinity. Which, the weird part is, both of those races are on the same day. So, obviously I hope this doesn't happen, but what if it rains and things have to be switched around? What happens then? And I'll talk about Daytona here in a bit too, because that was one of my biggest high points of 2023, was getting to go down there and experience everything. Me and my friend Michael Klein went down there. Oh man, I've never been to that track. I've never even been to Florida, and just to be down there, it was something else. Just to get to see all the festivities, all the races. I saw the duels, the ARCA race, the Xfinity Truck Cup races. It was so much fun. It really was. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how SVG does. Of course, I know Zane Smith's moving up to the Cup Series. I know Noah Gragson just got brought in. The worst kept secret held in NASCAR, but he's going to be taking over the 10 at Stewart-Haas Racing. I do admit I'm concerned for SHR because I just, I'm concerned for them because it's like, Kevin Harvick was like their one guy that was still up there contending every week. And I look at the team now. I think Chase Briscoe should be their number one guy moving forward. I think Briscoe has all that talent in the world, but I'm just worried that SHR struggling could potentially hold a guy like him back, right? So I don't know. NASCAR I think will still let him in the ARCA if the ARCA race rains out because he's a Cup winner and has a lot of racing talent. Yeah, I mean, probably. I just find it intriguing he has to run the ARCA race. Yeah, for the ARCA Daytona race, I actually got to stand on. You may have seen it in my Grace Speed at the Track video, but I got to be by Brayton Laster's pit box and stand down there and watch the race unfold. That was really cool. And shout out to Brayton, by the way. Brayton Laster, super cool guy. Such a nice guy to hang out with. Because I know he was in that video too. So, yeah, Brayton is awesome. Future Racing Infinity idea. Hollywood heroes. Actors like Patrick Dempsey, Tim Allen, and Frankie Muniz racing with the Cup drivers at the LA Coliseum. I think somebody's working on that. I forgot. I think they're called Area 23. I think they are. I know they're making the Coliseum, and they also made the street circuit for Chicago. But yeah, I can't wait to see how that works when the LA Coliseum comes out for NR 2003. Because I've tried it in iRacing. The corners are tight. I mean, with the next gen, you can't go above third gear. There's no way. it's crazy, but it's fun and it's different. And that's what I love about stuff like that is you're trying something different. And in an area like Los Angeles, where there's a lot of car culture and stuff, really looking forward to the Clash of the Coliseum again for a third year in a row. Let's see. Who do I think will take over the Colleague 16? Oh, man, that's a toughie. I'm not entirely sure. I know Hemrick's moving up. He's moving back up to Cup with him. But I don't know, honestly. Honestly, I could see multiple drivers splitting it. So Allmendinger probably does some races. I'll have to check to see who they have because I don't want to accidentally mix up drivers and go, oh wait, this driver's here. So let's go on good old J-Ski. Here we go, 2024 team chart. Okay, let me check to make sure who is all driving for Colleague. That's right, Josh Williams in the 11. I'm excited for Josh Williams. I'm really excited for him. I can't wait to see what he does in that car. Yeah, AJ is going back to race for them. Let me check what else here. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Chandler Smith's going over to JGR. That's right. Lane Riggs. Yeah, I was at the truck race at IRP in 2022 as well. And I was impressed from the get-go when he made that debut. I think he's going to do a lot of great things. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Lane Riggs does. So, definitely someone to watch. How do you think both Bailey Curry and Matt Mills will do it in East Motorsports? You know, Bailey Curry has put together some decent runs with him from what I remember. So, he could surprise some people. Matt Mills certainly can as well. So, you know, I'm kind of intrigued to see how they do. Oh, yeah, and the fact that WeatherTech is sponsoring SVG, that is so cool. I don't know why I find that so fascinating, but I just do. But, yeah, how about that, huh? Let's see, Jesse Love is with RCR, that's right. Dawson Cram with JD Motorsports. Anthony Alfredo to Our Motorsports. Sammy Smith at JRM, that's going to be interesting. Haley Deegan moving up to Xfinity with AM Racing. Sheldon Creed to JGR. Really intrigued to see how he does with them as well. So, I think Xfinity is going to be fun to watch in 2024. But yeah, feel free if you want to bring up more stuff about Silly Season, we can. The next thing I am going to talk about is Sunday Night Lights updates as well as some more content information. There's a couple things I definitely want to address. First of all, though, we really roared back with Sunday Night Lights this year. We came up big, you know, doing the 93 to 95 video, and then 1996. That was a huge video. And that video, I think that might be one of the quickest climbs I've ever had to 1,000 views. So, thank you guys so much. That meant a lot. A lot of hard work went into that. And I can tell you right now, we are working on 1997 as we speak. I think 97 is going to be fun. We want to make every season bigger than the last. 1996 was pretty massive, right? It was a big year. But we're looking forward to making 97, and especially years on after that, very, very fun and exciting. We got a lot of ideas. We've been sorting some stuff out. We're going to get races going here shortly. But yeah, we're in full swing with 1997 for Sunday Night Lights. It's really intriguing, you know. '96 was fun. That championship battle between Bubba Nissen and Rob Moroso. Bubba Nissen has just been an absolute Cinderella feel-good story in this timeline. Then you got the female movement with Patty Moyes and Shauna Robinson, and now you got the rise of other stars like Tammy Jo Kirk and Kelly Earnhardt. Man, it's going to be interesting to see how different NASCAR looks compared to in real life, right? We already are seeing a ton of differences. Hailie Deegan is going to win and make history next year. I'm really intrigued to see. I think my theory is that Deegan will do better in an Xfinity car. There's so much different to the trucks and cup cars. I'm just intrigued to see how she does. So we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see how she does. But yeah, besides that, expect more updates very soon. Getting things knocked out, making sure everything's good to go. We want to make sure everything looks correct, feels correct before going through with anything, of course. So obviously a lot of cars being worked on and everything else. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Sunday Night Lights 1997. Just stay tuned for more updates there. So discussing in terms of content, I've been thinking of more, obviously, Racing Infinity ideas and what else I could do. I would like to try doing some more at-the-track stuff like I did this year. I want to try and do something a little different. I don't know exactly how, and I'm still trying to, figure that out. John Deere winning the Busch Series Championship in '96 was interesting. Man, Chad Little, I don't know what it was. He just blew the field away in '96 in the Busch Series. He killed it. It's probably one of the most dominating, definitely one of the most dominating seasons in all of Sunday Night Lights, for sure. I mean, I was just amazed. I mean, he had the championship locked up with a few races to go at that point. So, now we just have to wait and see what happens with him next. Does he end up sticking in the Busch Series? Does he get back to Cup racing? Who knows, right? Because what's interesting is he drove for former NFL quarterback Mark Rypien at the time. So that's even more interesting. The fact that, he can now, as a car owner, he can now have a championship to his name. So, what does that mean, right? Let's see. I was talking about at the track stuff. I'd like to do more of those. Let me know what you guys think of those as well, because obviously I want to continue to, with this channel, I want to continue to push and celebrate all things NASCAR, all things motorsports, and show why it's great, what makes it special, what makes it unique. That's always been one of my questions in those videos for sure, is what makes racing so special. One video I have an idea for that's a little different, I haven't gotten around to it yet, I've been a little busy, is I want to talk about basically what a track means to somebody, because a lot of people have their own nearby or home track. They could say, yeah, I went to this track for so many years, whether it's a NASCAR track, a road course, or even a local short track or a dirt track or something like that, right? So I want to go into that and, yes, use Kentucky Speedway as an example, since that was a track I went to growing up as a kid, and kind of share the memories and stories and why that is so important to a racing fan, right? I don't know how I'm going to tie all that in just yet. That's still in the planning, but that would be a fun video to do. Next year, I do want to put Chris Buescher in my Cup Series championship for. Hey, I tell you what, after this past season, and I've said it for years, Chris Buescher is a great driver. He just needed the stuff. He needed the equipment. And guess what? He's got the equipment now. I even said RFK Racing was going to be a team to watch, and they showed why. I was very impressed with Chris Buescher this year. Got to the round of 8, and I'm excited to see what he does next year, and RFK in general, right? With Brad Keselowski, we're hoping Brad can get back in victory lane. Chris Buescher can continue his momentum. I really do believe that Justin Haley at Rick Ware Racing will eventually mean him going to RFK. Whether he replaces, whether he takes over for Brad, or he gets into a third car. Because obviously, what's that third car called? Stage 60? That's a really cool, unique concept. I'm looking forward to seeing what else Brad does with that car. Getting David Reagan's going to run the 500 in that car. That's pretty cool. My home track is Pocono. I've yet to go to Pocono, but I really would love to go up there. But yeah, as I said, that video is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I definitely want to get to it when I can. Just comes down to time and, putting something together that, makes a video good. I want the video to be, I want to express, why racing is, why we should be, why it's important to celebrate it, right? I think that's the important thing. The big thing I wanted to discuss, and I saw a couple of questions asked about it, and I will explain why, essentially. So, it's been a while since you've heard about a divided ending, right? It's been fun making that. Doing something a little bit different, right? It's definitely something different, out of the ordinary. And while a divided ending is an interesting setup for a story, the more I have thought about it, I don't know if it fits what I want my content to be about, because I want to take the channel in a direction that's, again, focused on celebrating motorsports in all of its forms, and making something truly original, unique, and different. Because a divided ending was pretty much based off of Griff's Dale Earnhardt series, which I did get the okay from him to do that, by the way. He was very interested in that. And I think the other issue, and what I'm trying to say here is, I'm just going to say that I'm putting a divided ending on hold. I'm kind of just suspending it right now because, again, when I look at how I'm doing my content, right, I want to be able to express celebrating motorsports in any form. And I apologize sincerely for not saying anything earlier, but I figured this would be a good time to do it. And again, a divided ending, I'm not, never say never, right? CM Punk came back to WWE, for Pete's sake. So, I mean, I'm just going to say, kind of just putting it on hold for now, and maybe down the road, maybe look back into it again, see if I can do something with it, right? But for now, and plus Sunday Night Lights, I don't want there to be long gaps of time where you guys are waiting for what happens next. So I definitely want to focus on that and some other things as well. But the other thing too is it does kind of deal with the politics of the sport instead of celebrating what NASCAR has to offer. And I feel like I'm not trying to call other people out, but let's face it, people love talking about the politics of the sport a lot, especially if you're on Twitter. That's just how it is, and I don't want to be one of those people. Don't get me wrong, I have my own set of opinions on things, and I will certainly discuss them. But in the content that I'm making for this channel, I want to explore the love for motorsports. And that's what I'm doing through stuff like Sunday Night Lights and some of the other ideas I may have moving forward. I have some interesting Racing Infinity ideas for 2024 as well. And we definitely want to continue some of the ones I started, right? Dale Jr. going to Gibbs, Jeff Gordon going to Evernham, Dale Earnhardt going to Robert Yates, among other things like that. We'll certainly do that. But I wanted to address that with a divided ending. So again, I apologize, but I promise you there's a lot of great content coming for this channel that does include Sunday Night Lights, among other things. And again, that's the important thing, is just going on about what makes racing special and great. I don't want to divide people. I don't want to cause any arguments or debates. And yeah, absolutely, yeah. You as a story you were telling, yeah, and yeah, there's the argument for that. That it's it's kind of like a story too. But when see if I can put the right words for this. Brain's a little fried. I apologize. Been working a lot lately, but again, it just the biggest fear was that it was just going more into the politics, and I do feel like in some cases there are some differentiations in how people feel about how NASCAR should go with things. There are people out there who want it to be like it is like it was in 03, right? 2003, where race one or race whatever for the championship and all that stuff. And in my opinion, there's a reason behind everything. And I think innovation is very important for NASCAR right now. And I think they're doing a lot of good things. Doing the Clash at the Coliseum, going to new tracks like Gateway and Austin, Texas. And the street race at Chicago was awesome. And I'll go into that topic here in a second about races I'd like to go to. I really want to go to Chicago if I can. Because after watching that, I'm like, oh, dude, I need to go. Hopefully it won't rain so much, right? But yeah, for now, Divide ending, I'm just kind of putting it on hold. And I want to move forward with Sunday Night Lights, Racing Infinity, and whatever else. And continue to share the stories with you guys. And I really appreciate all the support from you guys. I really appreciate everything. It's it can be a grind, but I know in the end it's all worth it. Especially, seeing how many people really loved SNL 1996. That put a smile on my face. So that's what I'd love to do for you guys, is continue to entertain you guys, continue to show a lot of fun, creative motorsports content. And as I move forward, I definitely want to come up with different ideas and see, like, hey, what else can I put out there on the channel? What else can I do to, not only just bring out more content, but be consistent while at it as well. To just being able to, what kind of ways can I be creative, right? How can I express what makes motorsports so great? How can I offer a celebration to it? This year, NASCAR celebrated its 75th anniversary, and they did all sorts of celebrations for that. So, just something to think about as I move forward. So that's just content plans I have right now. And again, really looking forward to 2024. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to actually mark 20 years since I became a NASCAR fan. I believe it was around summer of 2004 when an 8-year-old kid who was living in 7 or 8-year-old kid who was living in Louisville rented NASCAR Thunder 2003 from Blockbuster, and the rest was history. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. So yeah, it's funny. I have Blockbuster partially to thank for becoming a NASCAR fan, and obviously I know pretty soon most likely the Gen Alpha kids are gonna be like, "What's a Blockbuster?" I'm gonna be like, "Oh God." I'm turning 27 in 3 days, and I'm trying not to feel old, because especially like a lot of the guys I watched growing up are retired now. Man, Harvick is like one of the last ones. I could probably throw Hamlin, Truex, and Keselowski in there, but yeah, it just feels like the end of an era. What you're seeing is the future. Seeing the likes of Elliott and Larson and now Blaney winning a championship. Oh yeah, I would definitely like to do another predictions video for 2024, as well as, if you remember, I did a World Grand Prix where I put together like 12 of in real life championships, in real life champions, and put them all in a 5-race series to see who was the best in the world. I do want to do that again. I will probably aim for the spring with that video. So I definitely want to do that again. I thought that was fun, unique, a little different. So, yeah, look out for another World Grand Prix for 2024. 2024 will mark 20 years since Kurt Busch's championship and Dale Jr.'s first Daytona 500 win. See, that's the thing. I can't believe it's been 20 years. Like, wow. That's nuts. I remember watching the Ford 400 and Kurt Busch losing his entire wheel, nearly hitting the pit road, the barrels at the entrance of pit road that could have ended his championship hopes. Depending on how things could have gone, I'm kind of curious now. I want to look that up. 2004 Nextel Cup standings. Because I wonder if Busch had wrecked into that wall. Yeah, I think Jimmy Johnson was second in points. So if Kurt Busch had wrecked in that situation, Jimmy Johnson would be an 8-time champion right now. That's nuts. Oh man, I can't believe that was 20 years ago. Wow. Let's see. Let me move that. There we go. The next thing I want to talk about is what races do I want to go to in 2024. Me and my friend Michael are trying to get back to the Daytona 500 again this year. So hopefully we'll make that work. I'm interested in going to the spring Bristol race again, even though I know they're moving it back to it being on the pavement. Let's see, I was always exposed to NASCAR since I was born, so I can't remember when I fell in love with the sport, but ever since I was a toddler, Sundays were for cheering for Casey and the 9 Dodge. Oh man, I remember those old Casey Kane commercials. Back when he was young and all the girls loved him. I remember going to races as a kid and they would announce, starting whatever, driver of the number 9, Dodge Dealers Dodge, for Everham Motorsports, Casey Kane. And I just heard all the ladies go, Casey! It's those commercials it was the Allstate commercials because it was like these three ladies who were always fantasizing and, Casey Kane's so dreamy. Those commercials, man. There were some funny commercials, man. The Nextel ones were funny. I remember Jeremy Mayfield talking into the Nextel walkie-talkie or whatnot. And again, this was like 3 years before the first iPhone came out. And he's like, all right, telling his guy in the trailer to keep backing up. And he's just crushing Tony Stewart's car. Keep backing up. Keep backing up. Oh, God. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip made the funniest commercials on planet Earth. They did a Domino's one back in, I think it was 2005. And the delivery driver walks in, I got an order for Mr. NASCAR. That's me, they both say, and then they just keep rambling on like, well, mine's for the king of NASCAR. Well, mine's for the emperor of NASCAR, and so on and so forth. The crew members walk up, take the pizza, like, all right, see you, man. And then they keep going. Dale Jr. Michael Waltrip goes, El Presidente de NASCAR. King Daddy! That made me and my dad roll on the floor laughing. Oh my God. Just Dale Jr. finishing off with King Daddy! I don't know why that was so funny. I just love that so much. Oh my God. So many good commercials back then. And like I said, I was happy to see the Ryan Blaney Menards commercial recently. I thought that was cool. I think it's cool Menards is doing that. It just shows the dedication they have to racing for so many years. And obviously it's cool to see them get that championship with Blaney as well. Ryan Blaney could be the modern-day equivalent of Casey Kane. Oh, you know what? Pretty much. I mean, come on. He's a good-looking dude, right? I mean, that's true. I think that's a good point there. It'll also be 20 years since the first SpongeBob movie premiered in theaters. Feel old yet, Gen Zers? Oh, God. It's been 20 years. I remember seeing that. In theaters. Oh, my God. I remember the scene where they were about to walk into that one club with all the tough guys, and they were playing a song by Motorhead. And my dad loves Motorhead, so he was very happy to hear Lemmy singing. Lemmy Kilmister. God rest his soul. But The fact that he managed to get a song in a SpongeBob movie is awesome. But yeah, oh man, the first SpongeBob movie is a classic. I remember, was it the fall of '04 at Charlotte? The Busch race was called the 2000. It was called the SpongeBob SquarePants Movie 300. And then of course Kansas had the SpongeBob SquarePants 400 many years later. Yep, King Daddy. My favorite old NASCAR commercial was the Nextel one with Matt Kenseth, where it was revealed that he was a robot. I do remember that one. Yeah, the robot. I know Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip did a lot of funny Napa ads too. Michael Waltrip spun his hat around, started doing some weird, cringy moves. Like, Dale Jr. taught me how to do these moves, these dance moves, and Dale Jr.'s like, I didn't teach him how to do that. Mikey was at the wrong track. Yep, that's a classic. I'm at the wrong track. That's a classic. Oh man. Trying to remember what else. You Better Run by Motorhead. Yep. I think it was a version that was made for that movie called You Better Swim. There is a CD, an album out there from the SpongeBob movie, and it's called You Better Swim. But yeah. Let's see. It's still hard to believe that Joey Logano, let alone Kyle Larson, are in their 30s. Man, that's nuts. It's crazy, too, with Logano, because he's been racing for about 15 years now. He was a rookie in 2009 at the age of 19. He's, still in his early 30s. That's crazy. Logano can easily go another 10 years if he wanted to with how great he's been, right? Mikey dresses Elvis. I remember the Napa Know-How ones with him and Martin Truex Jr. Where Truex was singing the song or whatever. Yeah, the Dale Jr. Yeah, I'm not taking credit for that. Yeah. I'm not taking credit for that. There was a commercial that Jr. and his dad did. It was, I believe, right before Dale unfortunately passed. And it was with Taz, the Tasmanian Devil, promoting the Monte Carlo, and Dale Sr.'s trying to teach Taz, the Tasmanian Devil, how to race the car, which I just thought was funny. He's just okay. He's just driving. And Junior's just back there all annoyed. I just thought that commercial was funny. Oh, Blaney's 30th birthday's coming up. Oh, man. That's crazy, because it just feels like yesterday that the Blaneys and the Larsons were all, just getting their way into the Cup Series. And now they're pretty much considered veterans at this point, which is weird. I didn't watch the first SpongeBob movie in theaters, but I do remember watching Polar Express in theaters. I do too, yeah. To me, that's one of my favorite Christmas movies. And when I was in elementary school, you knew you were going to have, and it's almost winter break, you knew you were going to have a good day when the teacher rolled out that TV on the cart, had the DVD to Polar Express, popped it into the DVD player. Oh, man, you knew it was going to be fun. You knew it was going to be a good day. I do wish Jeffrey Earnhardt could have gotten a spot at RCR in the 3 car. Yeah, that would have been cool, because in the one race he did, heck, he nearly won that race. I can't help but think, what if Jeffrey was able to get by Gregson and win that race? What would have happened, right? That's just crazy to think. I'll never forget that short time he had with Joe Gibbs Racing and that IK9 sponsorship as well. I believe that old Team Monte Carlo ad with Dale Jr. and Sr. was banned. Yeah, because after Earnhardt's death. Right. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's the only reason why it was banned. I remember the 2 Dales and Taz. I always made the joke when I first saw it. That was the 2 Dales and Marcus Ambrose. Oh, man. I remember the first time I heard about Marcus Ambrose. Behind me, I have a big poster of the on one side it's a Ford poster. I don't remember where I got it from, but it's from 2006. So on one side it has all the Cup drivers, and on the other side it shows all the Busch Series and Truck Series guys. Marcus Ambrose is one of the drivers shown in his number 20 truck. I remember because I went to the Kentucky truck race in 2006, and he was on the pole that evening, and me and my dad thought it was really cool. Oh, hey, this guy from Australia or whatnot. He's here racing in NASCAR. That's so cool. So, we couldn't help but kind of cheer on for him that night. That was fun. I think Ron Hornaday. Yeah, Ron Hornaday won that race. It's crazy how I remember that stuff. Heck, that same year, I was at Kentucky when David Gilliland shocked the world. Some of y'all remember that. I remember because we had sweet tickets. I remember people were just standing there going, "Who the heck is David Gilliland? Who is this guy?" Well, we all knew who he was after that, right? That's just crazy because we were just like, oh my god, we just saw one of the biggest upsets in NASCAR history. That was just so cool to see that live. That's one of my favorite live racing memories. It's hard to believe that Kyle Busch is in his late 30s. Yeah, he made his Cup debut in 2004. I think he's the oldest active Cup driver now, which I can't believe. I mean, my God, The Polar Express is one of my... Yeah, I love the Polar Express. I always loved the Tom and Jerry Nutcracker tale for some reason. I remember there was a Looney Tunes movie called Bah Humduck that starred Daffy. The Grinch cartoon, always a classic. Oh, man. Man, I've been going on for like over 2 hours, and there's so many fun things to talk about, right? Yeah, I was just talking about David Gillen at Kentucky because I was talking about Marcus Ambrose. Yeah, Polar Express has always been one of my favorites for sure. There was another movie I remember, and I saw somebody brought up on Twitter the other day. Yes, I still call it that. Olive the Other Reindeer. Does anybody remember that? Olive the Other Reindeer? Dembro Studios. I know who that is. That's my roommate. Hello. How you doing? Tony Stewart. The kid's an idiot. He wins one Busch race and he thinks he's a Cup driver now. It is kind of insane how that all came to be. That the fact that Gilliland quickly got a Cup opportunity after that. But then again, everything that happened between Mayfield and Evernham, Mayfield got kicked from the team. Elliott Sadler came in. Literally, no joke, right after NASCAR 07 came out, which Sadler was on the cover of. And then David Gilliland ended up in the 38. I remember when my dad bought me that game, he's like, I find it weird that Elliott Sadler is on the cover of this and he just changed rides. Oh, Denny's the oldest active Cup driver? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. In terms of years, I think Kyle's been around longest by a year. Because Kyle was a rookie in 2005, and Hamlin and Truex were rookies in 2006. That's right. Okay. Thank you for correcting me, Daniel. Appreciate it. I miss all of the Cup driver-owned teams. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how they come and go, Kevin Harvick's team. I didn't expect KBM to go away. And then, of course, Brad. But then again, in a way, Brad's a car owner again. And I remember when he shut down Brad Keselowski Racing that he wanted to be a Cup owner. So look at him now. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle wants to do the same thing, too, eventually. I read the original book to Olive the Other Reindeer. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because... he believed that they were talking about him, but the song was All of the Other Reindeer, So, that was always a classic. I miss those days with Cartoon Network, man. They aired nothing but Christmas specials around this time of the year. I used to always tune in. It was fun. Trying to think what other Christmas specials I remember. It's probably some that I'm not thinking of. Kyle was supposed to do a truck race in 2000 or 2001. I think it was 2001, yeah. Right, yeah, and he couldn't because he was 17. Yeah, I think it was Marlboro, because I think it was a kart race or whatever, or IndyCar. Because, yeah, Kyle Busch was in the truck series in 2001 at like 16, 17 years old. Which is crazy to think, right? Good Lord. I do think Iowa Speedway will be a good addition to the Cup Series, and let's see what happened if an international race ends up on the schedule. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Iowa because it's a new track, it's a new venue, it's a new market, right? So definitely happy if that track gets a chance to be on the Cup schedule. I think in 2025 we'll go to Montreal. I really do believe that. I do think they'll wind up in Montreal. It seems that because of some scheduling things and with the Olympics and stuff like that, they couldn't get Montreal on the schedule. But I think they'll get it on there at some point. Because I do think NASCAR needs to start, doing some international races. And eventually do an overseas race. That would be really cool. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Oh my God, yes. Yes, that's another one. How did I not think of that earlier? Grandma's gonna sue the pants off of Santa. I'm not gonna start singing for you guys. I don't wanna make your ears bleed. Kyle Busch raced at Chicago Motor Speedway. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, and Chicago Motor Speedway was also in the movie Driven, that really bad kart movie that had Sylvester Stallone in it, that had one of the most unrealistic Hollywood-like wrecks in history. The guy crashed, flipped over a bunch of cars, blew up, and whatever. I'm like, what in the world am I watching? Let's see. My go-to Christmas movies to watch are TPE, Christmas Vacation, The Grinch, Elf, Peanuts Christmas Special, the Santa Claus as well. Oh yeah, the Peanuts Christmas Special. That's a classic. I don't know. This is definitely one of my favorite times of the year, just because of the festivities, everything that's going on, and just being able to spend time with loved ones. That's why it's fun to just go to St. Louis. I've been doing it for so long. I didn't during the you know what? I'm just gonna say it during the COVID years, just because COVID. But or I guess eventually my videos get monetized, which is the goal. I'll have to call it the "Oh No" virus or something like that. Excuse me, I've been talking so much. But yeah, just being able to spend time with family. Me and my dad did some fun things last year. Day after Christmas, we went to the St. Louis Aquarium. We got to tour the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, which I got to see the Budweiser Clydesdales. And as somebody who's lived in Kentucky most of his life and has lived in Louisville and has been around Churchill Downs and been to the Kentucky Derby, I do have a soft spot for horses and horse racing and stuff like that. But, dude, those Clydesdales, those are some big freaking horses. Those horses are massive. I mean, you really don't truly understand how big they are until you see them in person. I was blown away. And then I got to see a St. Louis Blues hockey game, so that was fun. Suzuka for Cup or Xfinity. Yeah, like I said, I mean, you see the NFL doing these international games, and, the MLB started doing a series in London. NASCAR should look into that. Whether you go to some track in England or you go to Japan, there's certainly some places to go to, and I know that they discussed that. And I will argue that I think NASCAR could get away with doing another street race or two. I think one market in particular they need to hit is New York. I think, especially with Formula One trying to grow their presence in America, I think if NASCAR can get to New York before Formula One does, that'd be a pretty big deal. Driven is Denny Hamlin's favorite racing movie. I still can't believe that. There's Days of Thunder. There's other options out there. Why Driven, man? Remember the guy who makes NASCAR parody songs once a year about the previous season has done it for 16 years. I'm trying to remember if I know that or not. I'm going to have to look that up. If Montreal does get a NASCAR race again, what are the chances we could either see Jacques Villeneuve or Alex Tagliani in it? The French-Canadian Robert Downey Jr. Well, anything's possible, right? There's a short oval in the Netherlands that the Euro Series goes to called Venray. Okay. Speaking of the Euro Series, I got to meet a couple of guys who were down in Daytona. They were hanging out. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He was running. He was a driver from Portugal in the ARCA race, but one of the guys was Gordon Barnes. He drove for. He's been driving in one of the Euro Series divisions. I forgot which one, but he's been winning the championship the last couple of years. I think he won it again this year too. So, again, I had him and his friend. I'm trying to remember his name for the life of me at the moment, but I had them in the Daytona video. Yep, NASCAR used to have the awards banquet in New York back in the day. Yeah, and I mean EA Sports did it too technically. The New York street course, but again, yeah, it would be intriguing to see what a New York street race would look like. Would you have it over on the New Jersey side? Would you have it in Brooklyn and Manhattan? Can you race around Times Square? Who knows, right? I just, if LA can get a race one, yeah, exactly, And I've always said another backup plan in the SoCal market while we wait for the short track to happen would be Long Beach. Not too far from downtown LA. So I think, if you can somehow get Long Beach going, that would be really cool. We got the horses in the back. Chris Lehman. Thank you. I thought it was Chris, but I wasn't sure. Chris Lehman. Yeah, Gordon and Chris. They were great guys to chat with and hang out with for sure. And I know that the Euro Series was planning on doing a race on ice or something like that. They were planning on it, and unfortunately they had to postpone it because they didn't have enough equipment. Miguel Gomez, that's who. Yeah, Jet, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Miguel Gomez. Yeah, and again, that's really cool seeing the presence of international drivers trying to come over and do stock car racing. I think that's really awesome. The hairpin dive bomb at Times Square would be amazing. You're just trying to make a pass through there at Times Square. I just think, and obviously the racing product is important, but the aesthetic of it. To see a NASCAR next-gen stock car racing through all those pretty lights of Times Square, man, I can just picture it right now. Especially if it's at night. Oh, it sounds awesome. I would like Pittsburgh would be cool. Yeah, Pittsburgh. Of course, I know somebody in there 2003 made a Pittsburgh street circuit. Totally not being biased here, but I'd like to see a street race in Cincy. I wish Anthony Alfredo had gotten a spot at College Racing next year in the 10 because it looks like they only want to fill 3 cars next year. Yeah, but like I said earlier, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Josh Williams does for sure. Really happy for him that he's getting an opportunity like that. Quick, I got off topic. Sorry, guys. Going to races. So, again, I talked about Daytona. Talked about Spring Bristol. Definitely doing Gateway again. Definitely doing Indy again. Indianapolis was so much fun having credentials, and I'll probably post it again at some point on my community tab and on Twitter, but I'll never forget that picture I have of Michael McDowell doing his burnout. It was probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, racing photo I've ever taken. It's actually the wallpaper of my PC, which I'm really proud of. I'm on my laptop currently, but there should be a Charlotte Street Race through the Hall of Fame parking garage. Oh my gosh, that would be something. How much would it cost to make I-71 part of the Cincinnati Street Circuit? Since people drive like it's NASCAR there. Oh my God, do they? Good Lord. They really do. Sometimes driving to and from work is a bit of a pain. Honestly, though, with Cincinnati, I would just race around the banks and all that. Excuse me, if you can make it work. A concept worth trying is racing on a track made on an airport runway like Burke Lakefront Airport. Yeah, man, I wish that could come back. The Cleveland Grand Prix, that would be a lot of fun. And I know there's been some cities interested in doing it since the Chicago deal. A Buffalo Street Circuit. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think any big city out there could potentially pull it off, right? If Chicago can do it, why not some of these other cities? I think Denver for sure, or Seattle, because I really think the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest, you need to tap into those markets somehow. But yeah, I mean, I really think having, I thought, okay, maybe one street circuit a year. Now I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3. I think could work. So, in terms of street circuits, makes me wonder if Lunken Airport in Cincinnati could pull it off then, with the airport idea. CVG's too busy. I would do it at Lunken. What else? I like I said, I really want to go to the Chicago street race if I can. Going back to Indy for IMSA would be awesome too, because I know the IMSA race is getting upped to, I think, either a 6 or 8 hour race. So that will be a lot of fun. I have a couple of dirt tracks close to me. Lawrenceburg Speedway. I'm really glad Lawrenceburg found some new track promoters. I was really worried that they weren't going to. So, really glad they do, and that we're still going to see some racing there. So that's great. That's a nice little dirt track to go to. And then there's also Florence Motor Speedway in Walton, Kentucky. But yeah, I'd love to get back to Nashville if I can too. I really enjoyed going to Nashville a couple years ago for the inaugural race. I got to walk around Broadway, and I didn't realize that up until that point. I was like, oh my God, Nashville's a party town. Good God. I didn't realize this. This is insane. But yeah, I'd like to get back down there for sure. I'm still kind of netting things out in terms of races I want to go to. But yeah, Daytona, one of the Bristol races. Let's see, this is a theory I have. I think next year NASCAR... I think that next year will be NASCAR's last race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway because they feel it's time to give IMS a break. I'm not sure because, especially with Penske owning the track, and obviously that's a really prestigious venue to be at. I know they don't draw crowds like they used to. That's tough. I do think NASCAR should be there. I think every other year, why not just go back and forth, like, for example, 2024, you do the Brickyard 400. 2025, go back to the road course. 2026, go back to the oval, and then, just, do the other track every other year, right? At least that's kind of how I see it. Just to mix up the schedule, shake some things up. I think Indianapolis is a place NASCAR needs to be in, though. I know they're renovating the museum there. I got to go in there during the IMSA weekend before they started renovating it, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like when it's all done. Oh, and I guess the Indy 500. Got to go to that again this year, so... Yeah, it's a big place. I mean, there's a golf course there. There's 4 holes inside the track. It's a big place, but yeah, even with 50K there, it still looks so empty. It does, but 50K is still a good draw. Well, the first ever Cup race I went to was in 2005 for the Brickyard 400, and that was back when they were drawing like 200,000 people. So that place was packed. I remember it very well. Tony Stewart won and climbed the fence that day. And then I went again in 2009. And I could tell the attendance had dropped because of that race in 2008. So, but I'm looking forward to going back to Indy. It's it's pretty much my closest NASCAR track these days. So, I take what I can get. Unfortunately, right? So, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of good tracks. Oh, Michigan. I want to go back to Michigan one of these days. I went there in 2016 and 2017, and I had a blast. I've always loved Michigan because of just how it's a big 2-mile oval. It's high speed, fast. I've always loved that track. So, I'm still kind of netting out to see what races I can do and whatnot, but I figured I wanted to discuss that. And feel free to talk about like what races you want to go to in 2024 as well. I'm going to take a quick drink of this I'll just do Mountain Dew. I have not stopped talking at all. Oh, that's better. Oh yeah, Larson. Yeah, I was at that announcement, and I got to see the unveiling of the 2 cars. That was so cool. With Larson being the first driver to do the Indy Charlotte double next year since Kurt Busch 10 years ago, I have a strong feeling he'll do well. But I don't see him pulling an SVG. Kurt Busch did really well in his one try that he did it, and I think Larson will do the same as well. I think he'll do great. Honestly, just getting to complete all 1,100 miles. I call it the 1,100 mile day. I know it's Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend, but I can't help but call it 1,100 mile day because you have the 600 and the 500. And of course, you can't forget Monaco as well, right? I've always been curious to see if there's ever going to be a day where a driver will do the double and win both the Indy 500 and the Coke 600. And honestly, I think Larson could pull it off. He's a talented driver. I think he could pull it off. I would say races I want to go to, but only ones you haven't said was the big dirt races at Eldora. I went to Eldora once. It was 2 years ago. It was the, I think it's called the King's Royal, because they ran, it was interesting. I think they did both, technically, the 2020 and 2021 versions of it. Let me tell you, of all the dirt tracks out there, Eldora is a nice facility. And by the way, the food there, so affordable. Good food there. It's very affordable. There's this one place in the infield you could stand and watch the track on like a 360 view. It's really cool. But yeah, they got really good food there. And it was really affordable too. I mean, literally, I can get like a meal for like less than $10. Meanwhile, a bottle of Coke costs $6 over at Great American Ballpark. I'm just saying. I bet history repeats itself 10 years later. Larson finishes top 10 at Indy and has a mechanical failure at Charlotte. Yeah, that sucked. That's what happened to Kurt. Yeah. Who knows, right? If Larson wins the Indy 500, Penske should just sell Indy to him. Kyle Larson will just be him, right? A crazy scenario would be seeing a driver who could run all 3 of the major Memorial Day races in the same day, but that won't be feasible with the way things are in F1. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We were planning on going to the 2020 truck race at Eldora, but, you know, yeah, I was planning to get media credentials for Kentucky that year, and that didn't happen. I think in my 2020 predictions, it was the first time I ever did a predictions video, I just did that as haha, this will, at least I'll have one prediction right kind of thing, and that didn't happen. So, I will say it felt really weird to watch that race on TV because I've been to every Cup race there, so it just felt so weird. 2020 was just a fever dream. It was like a decade that you never thought you lived through. But I did go to the All-Star race that year. I did, because it was down in Bristol. So, hey, I got to go to a NASCAR race at least. When I didn't think I was going to be able to. So, that works. Oh, man. 2.5 hours. It's 10 o'clock. My goodness, I've been going for quite some time. I'll probably be getting to wrap up here. But, after listing off races and stuff like that. So, again, there's a lot of great content coming ahead for this channel. We'll definitely do more of these. You guys seem to really like these live racing finishes. So every once in a while, we'll definitely do something a little bit fun, a little different for sure. I remember your Meyer 400 video series. Oh, wow. You remember those? Wow, that was a long time ago. Honestly, back then, I didn't fully understand the rating stuff and all that. And for years, I've always wanted, ever since Griff stuff, I've kind of wanted to do NR 2003 content. But yeah, oh man, that takes me back. I was still in college and all that. I don't know. It was just something fun to do. It's kind of what kickstarted where I am now in a way, you know. Toledo Speedway is an amazing track. I've never been there, but I'd certainly love to check that place out. I want to go to Salem one of these days. That's another track I want to go to. Salem and Winchester. Winchester for sure. I do wonder what could happen with Rockingham. I do think it can find its way back to NASCAR again someday because it got repaved last year. Rockingham would be cool. My only concern is oversaturating the North Carolina market. Having North Wilkesboro, and it wouldn't surprise me if they try to get a point state there, and you got 2 Charlotte races and Rockingham and stuff like that. So, lower series, no concern there. We could certainly do that. It's just the Cup Series I'm a little concerned for. But again, anything's possible, right? I mean, certainly Rockingham could do the All-Star race, right? That would be fun. Just seeing a track getting revived would be great, right? That was cool to see with North Wilkesboro, to see a track like that get revived. I was at Toledo in 2022 for ARCA and saw Jesse Love get carried away after punching Sammy Smith through the window. Oh, wow! That's crazy. I went to some of the ARCA races at Kentucky. One of the early ones I remember, I think it was 2009, because it was a truck ARCA doubleheader. I remember the ARCA race featured Frank Kimmel, and James Hilton was in that race. And I remember that finish because Parker Kligerman spun somebody to win at Kentucky. I'm trying to remember who he turned. I keep forgetting. Let's see if I can find it. I want to say it was either James Busher or Grant Enfinger. Yeah, I'll figure it out. ...2009 ARCA Remax Series. Here we go. Oh, that's right. They did 2 races that year. Yeah, the July one was the one I went to. Because Kligerman won like 4 races in a row. Let's see. I don't think it was Enfinger. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking up to see. Trying to remember who it was. Oh, it was Enfinger. Okay, it was Grant Enfinger. I know he spun him. I remember that. Okay, interesting. I first heard about your channel from Griff Dog. Oh, that's pretty cool. I think this is a year. This year was a good one for me. I finally went to my first race. Yeah, sorry I didn't run into you, man. But I'm seriously though, it's great you finally went to a Cup race. And it was at Gateway too. That's pretty cool. That was a wild race. We got 2 laps in. Reddick spun out, and then there was weather in the area. I remember hearing people around me. And by the way, the crowd was great. I remember people around me were like, "Why aren't we racing?" And I'm like, "There's lightning in the area." Even though it's not raining here, I could easily see the cell above downtown St. Louis when I looked out to the arch and all that. So, we had to hang tight for a couple hours. Michael Waltrip dropped his phone on the track, apparently, because Mike Joy literally went on the PA. I sat at the entrance of turn 1. I was going down to get food for my dad and I. I was like, I'll go get you some food. Like, all right, cool, sounds good. And, suddenly I hear Mike Joy get on. It's like, hello, everyone. This is Mike Joy from the NASCAR on Fox booth. I'm here on behalf of Michael Waltrip. Michael Waltrip dropped his phone between the grid walk and coming up here to the booth. I'm like, this is insane. I thought it was funny. But the crowd seemed to have fun because I remember they were like at one point they were like throwing a football around, which I thought was funny. The whole beach ball thing, through the crowd. We found ways to be entertained, but finally got the race going. Ended under the lights, and Kyle Busch won. So it's kind of intriguing, especially because Kyle Busch had such a hot first half of 2023, but it just kind of died down after that. Any interest in starting a Discord server? I didn't do great with the one I had previously, so not right now. But if there's ever a time that I feel like that it's the right thing, it could be something good to do, and I would spend more time with it, then certainly I can. Mike Joy is a national treasure. He is an absolute national treasure. He's kind of, even with these videos, he's kind of an inspiration to me. He's left an influence on me. I love his wisdom. I love his character. He's a natural treasure, a funny guy too. So, I'm looking forward to hearing his voice again in the spring when he's doing the races. I know people talk about how Fox isn't doing great, but come on, man. Mike Joy, he's a natural treasure. Gotta love what he does. So yeah, and of course Kevin Harvick's going to be in the booth there, so I'm looking forward to that. Unless you guys have any other last second comments or questions, I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap the stream up from here, just because I've been going at it for about 2.5 hours now. Had a great time with you all here tonight, and I hope it was a really fun race too with the live racing Infinity. That was fun letting you guys get to decide what race you wanted to be. You guys picked a good one. You all picked a banger. I thought that race was really good. So, and you know what? It was a little creative just getting to do it with the Jeff Gordon Evernham cars. So that was fun. We're definitely going to do a Racing Infinity at some point where we continue that as well, and the other ones as well. So, what will Racing Infinity 100 be about? Well, that's got to be a special one. Definitely got to be a special one. Perhaps that could be something I think about on some downtime, right? Maybe like do a car set of what the Cup Series will look like in 10 years or something. I really have to say this. NASCAR wouldn't have gotten where today if it wasn't for Ken Squire. Oh gosh, Ken Squire, yeah, Ken Squire, absolute pioneer to this sport. He contributed so much to motorsports. Obviously he passed away recently. He will be missed, but never forgotten for sure. So, Ken Squire, just absolutely amazing person. Besides that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Actually, the other day, I bought an Xbox Series S, so I might spend the rest of the night playing with that. I had a gift card, too, from Xbox, so I'm looking at a couple games I might get for it. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into this stream and enjoying the race. I'm really thankful for all of you guys and all the support you've given to me and this channel and what we've been doing since rebranding this channel over a year ago. A lot of great stuff coming with Racing Infinity, Sunday Night Lights, among other things. I can promise you that. And I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful holidays, and a great Happy New Year as well. Stay tuned this coming Friday. There is a Racing Infinity coming. It involves the truck series. We're going to go trucking. It'll be a lot of fun. I will see you there for that. And I love you guys. I love you guys. Happy holidays, and you guys have a great night.